Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Patronkast Plays Mortal Kombat X. I'm Razor, Chad's here, Spokeman as well. And we finished story mode. We finished.
I'm already drunk!
We finished the crypt, sort of.
How much of that shit did you do off screen?
Technically 100% of it.
Alright, so we're not going back in. I don't get to see the, additional... I don't get to experience the additional joy of getting to see you eaten more by spiders, is what you're telling me.
Yes, we don't ever have to go back in there.
Why do you gotta make my life so hard? I was having fun last time.
What I thought we'd do this episode is watch the arcade endings. Because I took the time to unlock them all. And I don't want it to be for nothing.
I guess it's the least we can do. So, this is actually gonna be pretty interesting for me because I'll tell you right now, I blank out on every single one of those endings. MKX represents the dividing point between all the shit that I remember about MK and the point where MK kind of like became this thing I paid not as much attention to, not because I thought 10 was a bad game or anything, but because like there just wasn't enough space in my brain to keep storing information and I was older, you know? So I remember Torr's ending very well. I remember Sub-Zero's ending because it's absurd.
Yeah.
And I remember Kitana's ending because of all the promise that it had that went nowhere. But that's about it. Like you're probably going to hear me start saying, "Oh yeah," a lot through this episode.
Yeah.
As shit comes back to me.
So here's the interesting thing: is I actually made a list of what order we should watch them in because like half of them are just non-canon, whatever, like usual.
Yeah.
I will just do those alphabetical. But the other
some of those
half
are connected.
Yeah, the other half are connected to each other and are plot threads that should have been in the next game but fucking weren't.
Yep, we just discarded everything we set up in these endings.
Yeah, so the first one I want to watch, just because it's the only one in the game that's actually canon, is Liu Kang's.
Damn. I thought you were gonna go right to Sub-Zero's to just get like the nonsense out of the way, but okay,
no, there's so much nonsense we'd be here forever if I was just scrolling up and down finding the goofy ones. No, this is the only one in the game that actually came true, which is, if you want to be generous, you could think of it as a tribute to MK1 through 3, where Liu Kang's the only guy with a canon ending. But he's not even the main character in this one.
Nope, just a revenant with a nice version of himself as the main.
Liu Kang explored the Nether Realm, a world that, without Shinnok's controlling power, had descended into chaos. Liu Kang was no sorcerer or elder god, but his fighting skill was more than enough to beat Netherrealm's demons into submission.
I think this announcer is Taven's guy.
Kang realized that Netherrealm
Sounds like it.
is for the
A little bit.
and that ruling appealed to him. He would assume Shinnok's throne and ponder the conquering of other realms.
So to get the Oni to follow the Revenants, Liu Kang just punched them all.
It's a lot of Oni.
You
To be fair.
With
Quan Chi and Shinnok can exercise sorcery over large groups of people. Liu Kang just punches.
You know what? I buy that ending, but he should be wearing some Revenant gear.
Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Like,
I was about to mention, talk about like costumes that are not canon.
Here's the thing, is that every single ending in this game, except Kitana's, the Revenants are wearing their human skins in the artwork.
Oops.
It's super weird.
Maybe they shouldn't have made these fucking default human skins in the first place.
Why don't you put the alternate in the art, though? You can draw anything you want. It's art. It's painted. You commission a guy to do it. Tell him what costume to draw.
Can we go to Goro next?
I mean, if you want to jump around, we could do Goro.
Is it relevant to anything?
Not really. It'll just...
Is anyone else's but Liu Kang's relevant to anything?
No.
Good, let's go to Goro.
Okay.
It doesn't fucking matter, and I want to see some Goro because I missed the guy.
Okay, so I will say, before we start, that Goro's bio and ending in this game are important for one particular thing. they super fucking contradict the comic book.
Prince Goro leads the Shokan, a four-armed race of half-dragons, subjugated ages ago by Shao Kahn. Goro was a Mortal Kombat champion 9 tournaments in a row. He was defeated by Liu Kang in the 10th, ending Outworld's hopes of assimilating Earthrealm. The Shokan served the Outworld throne until Shao Kahn's death. They refused to take sides in the resulting civil war, and were thus outcast. Few believe, however, they have seen the last of Goro.
Yeah, they refused to take sides in the Civil War. And Goro still has all 4 of his fucking arms.
That is very... That's not the way that things happen in the comic, where they definitely took a side.
It is very much not.
The Shokan had become outcasts for refusing to aid either side in the outcast.
What did he, like, take over Kuatan and kick them all out?
Prince Goro decided to re-enter the political landscape. Kotal Khan's armies were weak from years of battle. Mileena's rebels were scattered. It was an easy matter for the Shokan to seize control. Newly crowned Emperor Goro had his rivals exterminated.
That's Goro's lair, which is on Shang Tsung's island.
Or Tarkatan would usurp his throne.
Also, down in the bottom, Tanya's wearing some kind of two-piece.
Oh, I see that.
I don't think that outfit's even in the concept art.
That looks like... It honestly looked like Mileena's MK9 costume, just a little bit different.
A little bit.
I just want to focus on the fact that that ending had Goro do cool stuff. And had him, like, as a conqueror. Yeah, and that ending was, like, the last time we got kind of any fucking view of Goro as a character. As opposed to a guy that just sits in the background and hits a drum and spreads, like, you know, the occasional one-liner.
I don't think the drummer in 12 is Goro. I think it's just a random Shokan. But Goro in 12 doesn't do fucking anything. Like, he's basically...
Sure.
Like, because they turned Baraka and Reptile good, Goro is now the jobber background villain.
I don't think he's even that, honestly. I really don't. I think that if you want an example as to, like, why Mortal Kombat is not the franchise that we remember it to be, you just have to think of Goro for 5 seconds. He is emblematic of everything that we fucking lost. God, I miss this guy. I really miss this guy.
Alright, so now I'm just gonna go through the random ones alphabetically, which unfortunately means we gotta start with a guest character.
And, you know, I don't even give a shit. Let's do it.
Tore through Shinnok's flesh, reducing him to a bloody pulp. The creature then returned to its nest in Outworld. It continued to venture forth looking for suitable hosts
or Reptile
in establishing a new hive. The alien found more than a few intriguing species and dragged them back to its lair.
Ooh.
Once a queen had been spawned, the alien's new hive multiplied quickly and spread unchecked throughout the realm. Emperor Kotal Kahn attempted to save Outworld in a desperate...
There Tanya's wearing her actual outfit.
The attack failed. Outworld belonged to the aliens.
Okay,
so which MK character is most likely to say, "Get away from her, you bitch"?
Probably Sonya.
I think it would be Johnny Cage because he's seen the movie and his character in everything since this game is just guy who quotes movies rather than guy who makes movies.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway.
Let's get Bo.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
Victory over Shinnok led Raiden to give her a new important task.
Bo is one of the ones who's connected to other characters, so we'll do those in a certain order.
Did not have to be told that the suspect could be a resurrected Shang Tsung. Having tracked him from the site of his last known assault, Cassie confronted the withered old man. He fought desperately, but was ultimately defeated. As the old man lay dying before her, Cassie asked his name. With a mixture of sadness and relief, he whispered, Shujinko.
Fucking shit.
First of all, What kind of psychopath just attacks someone lethally before having, like, a single word of conversation?
Mortal Kombat characters?
Like, if she leapt out and was like, fuck you, Shang Tsung, and started beating him to death, couldn't he have just... I'm not Shang!
It's just for the member berries. Remember Shujinko, kids? Remember
Okay,
Shujinko. He's dead now.
Here's the problem. This is the kind of member berries where they go, hey, that thing we're referencing, we don't like it, and we're killing it in front of you. It's like... So there's a moment in 12 where Ashura has the hat on, and she doesn't like the hat. She says, I don't want to wear this hat. And it reminds me, like, any kind of moment like that reminds me of the bit in the Devil May Cry remake where Dante, like, a wig flies onto his head to make him look like classic Dante, and he looks in a mirror and goes, not in a million years, and throws the wig away. That's a fuck you to the fans. Nobody likes that.
I also called that shit would be in the game with Ashura specifically.
I mean,
using the DMC reboot as a reference, that they're gonna do some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't want to talk. They did Shujinko dirty. This is a bad ending. Fuck you.
For anyone who wonders why we're so cynical about this kind of stuff, all I gotta say is, you made me. Remember? You dropped me into that vat of chemicals. That wasn't easy to get over.
Don't think that I didn't
try.
Also, like,
Okay.
Cassie couldn't beat Shujinko.
Yeah, I dispute that very heavily. Like
I
don't generally believe in MK tier lists, but man, Shujinko's up there.
her green shit, like, works specifically against gods, which Shujinko is not.
He's the god of dentistry, maybe that.
That's true.
True.
Devorah's ultimate plan was not to destroy Shinnok, but to enslave.
I thought her ultimate plan was to serve Shinnok. What the fuck?
her young in his body to gestate.
They're all loyal until the ending.
Soon the godlike power of their
Yeah,
Ew.
that's true.
Ew, they're the little human babies.
chitin ever born. As they matured, they
So she's an alien then.
focused through
Basically.
Her army of chitin super drones brought glory to Devorah, their beloved queen, and destruction to all.
How did they make the lava happen?
Are they in the lava parts of Kotal?
Wouldn't there be lava there anyway?
A volcano. A volcano. A volcano just happened to erupt.
Volcano.
That wasn't
wins.
part of their plan.
Alright, these two are tied to others, so we'll go to Ferra Torr.
Yay!
Ferra and Torr were a symbiotic pair, as is natural with their species. But that bond was broken when Ferra came of age and began the great transformation.
The look on her face. Oh no, it's time.
Yeah, does it just, like, like puberty just happens and you feel it and you're like, oh no.
Thursday, 6 o'clock. Shit.
Yeah.
Now a brute, Ferra will be chosen by a rider. A new symbiotic pairing will be forged, and new battles.
Look at that guy.
So what was this new writer doing while he was waiting for Ferra to grow old? Where was he? Do they just,
born?
like, sit in
Being
a
born?
cave?
Yeah, probably like a clutch somewhere.
Yeah.
And I really do like that ending. Like, it's a problem because like it puts this imposed time limit on the character. Like you cannot have this forever.
Yeah.
Like by logic, the next time you see this, it has to be ex Ferra.
It's bad lore. Yeah.
I don't know if bad lore
I don't
is what I'd call it, but like it's a shot to the kneecap. Because I want to see these two back again.
Yeah,
you know?
it does limit how much you can use the characters, because people like Torr, they don't really want big silent Ferra with a new character on her shoulders.
No, like the appeal of these
like-
guys is that you have the small impish Ferra, and you have like the big personalityless big brute guy, and like it's already set in stone. Like, unless making Ferra the big brutish type requires you to like replace Ferra with something equally smarmy and impish, and like that inherently takes away of like the appeal of the original characters.
I don't think the brute
is a problem.
I don't think the brute is as interesting with like Ferra's like the female body design applied to it. I think the reason that they work the way they are is because the girl is the small one and the dude is the big one.
What if they put a bag over her head? Would it work then?
You know,
can you put a bag over her torso?
You know, I changed my mind. I actually kind of like this ending because I don't like Ferra anyways, so it's fine if they never return.
You ass.
We talked about...
You know, like, it serves a purpose. It serves the purpose to, like, give the species a biology to, like, show us and inform us how they work, and it's cool. The problem is, how do you do that and keep them around? That's the issue.
It raises a lot of questions about how long they actually live for. Like, how long is a rider a child for before it has to find a brute? Because Ferra seems like she's 10-ish. How long? Because you get a rider, and then you're good for maybe 5 to 10 years, and then the rider dies. You become a rider. You get a new rider. So their lifespan seems to be like 10 years apiece, and that's a really short-lived species. And doesn't like this is a franchise like this game is set 22 years after Mortal Kombat 1, so the game after this would be 24 years after MK1. So if Ferra had been in MK1, we'd be on, like, the third rider, maybe, by now?
I mean, I don't expect them to kind of do that math in their head.
No, like, it is...
If she shows up, it's just going to be, hey, here's Ferra,
yeah,
and we're not going to pay any attention to that. It's a new universe, new
rules.
That's
the problem.
You've
set up a biology for this species, a lore about how they work that you can't even adhere to.
That in and of itself is a problem, but I'm just saying, like, supposing MK13 happens and it's that loreless trilogy type of game with absolutely no continuity and it's just a bunch of people murdering each other for the sake of murdering each other. At this point, A, I don't care. B, Ferra back? Sure, why not?
Yeah, but I'm suggesting, like, if Ferra were to exist back when story mattered, and they weren't rebooting all the fucking time, then you'd have a real hard time incorporating them into certain sequels. And we did talk last episode about a possible solution to this, which is kill them and make them revenants, because revenants don't age.
I'd be absolutely down for an undead Ferra. That'd be cool.
And unlike a lot of characters who they've revenanted in this franchise, Ferra and Torr would actually fit in super well in the Nether realm, aesthetically and personality-wise.
I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
I actually remember thinking back when MK4 was a new game. Yes, we are that old.
Mm-hmm.
That like they'd said that Reptile had been banished to the Nether realm, and I was like, does this make him technically dead? Am I playing as a dead Reptile in MK4?
He should have been dead. He should have been like executed, because banished to the Nether realm sounds like you've been sent to Hiffle. It sounds like
home for infinite. Exactly. I was like,
it's
if I'm playing as a dead
like...
Reptile, that's kind of cool. I don't really care if he's alive or not. It doesn't change his role in the story. But like undead Revenant Reptile would be a nice thing to see.
And you can always bring him back because they do it all the time. Like it's temporary anyway. But like my whole problem with Reptile and MK4 is like Sindel and Kitana caught him, put him on trial for helping Shao Kahn commit genocides. And they don't put him to the death.
Plural.
They kick him into a portal, which sends him to where he would have gone if they had put him to death. So it just feels like the child censorship version of an execution, which is weird because it's a Mortal Kombat game and it has fatalities. So what are you censoring?
Remember, this is post MK3. This is like silly fatalities era. Like they'd had the ESRB come down on the they resulted in the creation of the ESRB. They've been under like the politician scrutiny. There is no doubt in my mind that if like somehow things had gone much smoother, they would have gone, yeah, so they killed his ass and Reptile woke up in hell.
Yeah, but there are other characters who clearly already have died and now works for Shinnok because they went to hell as their backstory. Scorpion, Noob Saibot, Mileena in that game.
Yeah,
we were
this is
talking
true.
about
Reiko.
Ferra Torr.
This is true. We were talking
Right,
about.
right.
Let's stop, Razor.
Okay.
Let's stop. This is what happens when we actually get involved.
I look at it as we've been putting off talking about this character, but let's just do it.
I don't hate Jacqui that much, just you guys.
Kotal Kahn had become a prime target
I
of
just,
special forces
playing through her tower to unlock this ending was the most bored I was this entire game.
Imagine it's like Jax.
You know ladders are 10 fights long, right?
I'm sorry.
Pyramid. Inside he retrieved a glowing crystal skull.
Oh god, the bad indie movie!
Yeah, this whole ending is just a reference to a recent Indiana Jones movie. At the time, recent.
But couldn't help thinking her interference was what Kotal Kahn had wanted all
I don't
along.
remember any of this.
Oh no, Magic Snake
I-
something. What does
I
that
do not-
mean?
I do not remember that at all.
Because there's no reason to.
Is that connected
What
to
the
anything?
fuck?
It is not connected to anything else.
Okay, let's forget it and move on.
Yeah.
Fine,
That could
don't care.
have that could have been anyone's.
Did Jackie's entire ending just exist to reference the worst fucking Indiana Jones movie of all time?
Yes!
It wasn't even crystal. It was gold.
They
Fuck it,
had
pick Jason. Pick
they
Jason.
had so little for her character that that's her ending.
Like Scorpion,
Here's Jason. Who fucking cares?
Voorhees was a revenant. A vengeful spirit returned.
He's a revenant?
Revenant in the dictionary is just a word that means somebody who comes back from the dead.
Liu Kang,
Sure, okay.
ruler of the Nether Realm.
He's still wearing the wrong fucking clothes!
Mortal killer like Jason would be useful.
He
to
sure
his
is.
plans for conquest.
But see, this is connected to his ending.
Amazing.
The continuity is that he's wearing the wrong costume again correctly.
Jason's simple reply was to destroy Liu Kang.
Ha 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 ha! Ah, that is funny.
I do like that ending. I really do like that ending.
It-
It's a really good
it
ending.
is. It is true to Jason. It is very true to Jason.
So
I like you to
these
work for me.
two are
Glog,
connected.
glog, gloggle.
Those two are connected to others. So I like this
Kano.
bit in Kano's bio where it says, though he's from Earthrealm, Australia. Like nobody else in their
Brackets.
nobody else in their bio specifies what country on Earth they're from. Only Kano. Like
To let you know, it's the fucked up part of Earthrealm.
this guy's
Australia.
not from Outworld, but he is from Australia, so pretty close, right?
$900 reduce to buy us.
What?
Kano had always been a survivor,
Oh
but
right.
even he
Yeah.
one day succumbed to fate. His ideals of ruthless terror would die with him.
That was Shinnok who was
Unless he could
screaming.
pass on his methods to a new generation.
They just
Combat,
reuse whatever's in the
weapons,
sound
punishment,
files.
sabotage, torture,
Kano would not
all
do
were
this.
part of the curriculum. But before his students could learn his techniques,
I think he might actually.
Kano would beat the weakness out of them. They would
I
understand.
bet, like, this can't be that different from recruiting Black Dragons in general.
Kano's first pupil, his own son. Class was now in session.
So that would
Okay,
go
so-
nowhere.
So,
Yeah.
I got a few things to say about that. Like, the other day on Twitter, someone asked me what my concept for Kano's son would be, were he to be a character. And my response was he's raised in an orphanage, lives a healthy and fruitful life without knowing Kano is his dad, and dies happy. Because I don't believe that Kano's son should ever be a character in an MK game. Like, you're dealing with a person who is, I hate to say it, like the least popular or influential of like all of MK's legacy characters. And there are some things, like, I can understand the notion to give Sonya or Jax a kid. There's enough character traits and there's enough interest to actually pass on from one generation to the next. With Kano, we've already kind of got that in, like, the Sue Howes of the world and the Jarraks. And
Yeah.
it didn't work the first two fucking times. It's not gonna work a third time.
Yeah, so
Even if you just say it's his son.
the thing
However,
is...
hang on. However, Kano as a character is rooted enough in, like, the old school Shaw Brothers kung fu flicks, where I could see him as like the leader of a future version of the Black Dragon, which is lower, seedier, shittier, and still trying to get students. The concept of Kano having apprentices works pretty well. The concept of him having a direct descendant, I don't think does.
So my point of view on it is, like, I think it's a bit fan fiction-y, but I can certainly easily understand where someone would be, like, in their head, hey, the good guys have a next generation, where are all the, like, bad guys' kids? Where's the next generation of them? And, like, there is, like, theoretically a story. It's like a cliche, stereotypical story of, like, oh, here's the bad guy's kid, and he wants nothing to do with his dad, and that's, like, this source of angst, and, like, if you were, like, a cheesier writer, you would maybe imagine, hey, what if Cassie and Kano's son fell in love, or something weird like that.
Ew.
I wouldn't do it. I can understand people would. I've seen stories like that a million times over the years. Different franchises and whatnot, but the problem with creating a Kano's son character is that it's just Jarek or Kira again. Kano isn't a character you can do this with anymore. That Earth has been salted.
It's been... the ship has sailed.
Yeah. So that's where that's sitting. Let's see. Kenshi is tied to someone, so... do Leatherface.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Leatherface had cut down the old man in the strange outfit. Maybe not
The old man in the strange outfit.
Mm-hmm.
You go, girl.
Leatherface. Putting on his fancy
Are they in Sado? What's happening?
I think that was the Jinsei chamber?
Why is there a floating island in the back?
Because there's a rock that floats around the blue shit.
Alright, okay.
He pulled out the old man's face, which he'd saved for the girl as a present. The girl didn't want the present, and she wasn't being nice. So Leatherface chopped her into tiny pieces for Drayton to use in his chili. He then took off his mask and set to work on the girl's face. If she wasn't going to be his girlfriend, she could be his in other ways.
Okay. So
what I'm getting is Leatherface is an incel.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I actually have a question here. So I've seen, like, years and years ago, and barely remember, the first Texas Chainsaw and the remake with Jessica Biel, and I've never watched any of the other movies, because I rather don't like the character or any of the films. I think that Leatherface is a B or C list slasher, and it does not belong on the same pedestal as Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers.
I mean, you're wrong, but it's okay.
I know.
No, I completely agree.
The only reason Leatherface is even in this game is that they tried to get Michael, and whoever holds those rights refused. So they're like, well, what's the next thing down? And I would rather
other plans. They had to give him to Rob Zombie to work.
I mean,
if Leatherface is the next down below Michael Myers, I don't know.
No, like, you know what it is?
I would have rather had fucking... Well, they can't do Chucky because he's tiny and this isn't Marvel vs. Capcom. But, like... I don't know, I would have gone to, like, Pumpkinhead or something. Like, I think of Texas Chainsaw as on the same level as fucking...
Pumpkinhead is way lower than that.
Pinhead, maybe. Like, there are several direct-to-video franchises I would put before I'd think of Texas Chainsaw. That's just me.
That's crazy.
It's not about tier lists. It's about the inherent suggestion.
It's
of the character
it's
as
about
a concept.
the pop culture footprint, and I don't think Texas Chainsaw like really had much of one until they started making him a guest in a bunch of video games. Like they artificially pushed him for SummerSlam.
I'm with Smokeman on this. It's not that he doesn't have a pop culture footprint. It's what that footprint is made out of. Like, Freddy and Jason are inherently these kind of, like, quasi Saturday morning cartoon characters with, like, their recognizable cute trademarks, their hockey masks and their slasher gloves. there's something really inherently sinister and unpleasant and very, very grindhouse about Leatherface as a character. It's the chainsaw. It's the fact that he wears people's skin.
It's
Inherently, there's something very unsettling about the character that's kind of grounded in this kind of Ed Gein serial killerness that he doesn't really belong in the same world as they do.
There's also,
he doesn't make for a mascot serial killer.
I agree with that, and also I would add to that the first movie had a very low video quality and was almost the 70s version of found footage. Like, it's...
Yeah,
people,
exactly.
When it came out, a lot of people mistook it for a snuff film, like it was real life. It's a different tone completely than other slashers, and...
That's what I like about that movie.
If I'm being honest,
I love that movie makes me want to fucking take a shower after watching it.
Well,
Jason belongs in this game far more than Leatherface ever did.
Yeah, I don't think Leatherface is as a result of that vibe. I don't think he makes a lot of sense as a pop culture icon to like buy and sell and put into like products as a guest.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think there's ever been a Funko Pop Leatherface figure. If there is, I'm not aware of it.
I mean, I'd rather not be talking about Funko Pops.
I'm just that's like where we are. Of, like, an example. Like, I mean, Funko Pops are like the perfect example of like what's so overexposed that like it's instantly accessible and you can go out and buy one for $15. I don't know if a Leatherface one exists. I might be wrong, but
there are Funko Pops of like almost fucking everything.
That's the point. Like anything, like the measure of how much of a pop culture footprint something has.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now. I'm looking at like 7.
Okay. But like, yeah, one of the measures of how much of a pop culture thing something is do you have a Funko? Are you a skin in Fortnite? And
so what is Leatherface, huh?
Wait, to clarify, you're looking at 7 Funko Pop Leatherfaces right now.
I was over-exaggerating, more like 2.
Okay.
I thought it was a lot more than 2, but it was just like a second picture of one of the like a.
Well, that still means society's crumbling at the seams.
It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
Leatherface has a Funko Pop, and Leatherface is a skin in Fortnite, Razor.
Some mistakes have been made. That's one of the points I'm making is that some of these things are earned.
I think the fact that he gets all these kinds of tie-ins and shit proves your point wrong.
I think the people who own Leatherface have pushed for these things in places where nobody asked.
I asked, so you're wrong there too.
Okay, well,
there's no denying the character.
You're the guy who watches the bad like Hellraisers, and sits around going, "Hey, you want to watch Hellraiser 3 with me?" No, I don't.
Hey, would you? Okay,
you want to watch all the Puppet Master movies with me? No, I fucking don't.
I will gladly watch Hellraiser 3 because of the bitchin' soundtrack. Thank DM, and because CD is the best Cenobite, and you all know it.
Okay, well, how about Hellraiser 5, 6, and 7 with him?
The what now? I like the reboot recently. That was pretty good.
5 isn't bad. 6
Did you like the reboot?
Was a bad movie. I didn't see the reboot.
You should. It's pretty good.
I had finished watching all the other ones, and I was Hellraisered out. I didn't watch the reboot.
You gotta stop. Just go right to the reboot. It's good stuff.
What the fuck was your question, Razor?
My question was that this ending sort of presents, like all the narration is sort of from inside Leatherface's head, what he's thinking. Right. And I know that's not how movies work, so... Like, how do you know that his motivation is he wants a girlfriend? Are you just making it up? What in the movies indicates that?
In Chainsaw Massacre 2, he was kinda horny for someone.
But he doesn't talk. How can you tell?
You could tell.
Fair enough.
If you watch the movie, you could obviously tell.
I had motivation in his pants.
Well, maybe he's holding something that is maybe symbolizing what's in his pants.
Okay. Okay, well, we're moving on.
Please, God, let's.
This world called Earth produced many.
Is this the last guest? Are we finally done with these assholes?
Possessed a power previously unknown to the
We did
Predator.
Alien, we did Jason,
Yeah.
we did Leatherface. Yeah, this is the last one.
Fujin!
The Predator sought to harness
What?
his new
What?
power
Fuji was on the
for his
ground.
conquests.
Oh.
He analyzed a trophy from a recent battle and eventually discovered its secrets. With the power of sorcery, the Predator was unstoppable. and
Where's the
threatened
sorcery? That's his
Yeah,
shoulder
what's the
cannon and a javelin.
sorcery?
He's just using his equipment.
had become
Oh yeah, there's the
This
sorcery.
looks like Okay, no, that's a bit of
they show
sorcery right
3
there.
kills about, and they're talking about how he's using sorcery, and only one of them is sorcery.
With the power of sorcery, he throws a fucking spear.
Yeah, seriously, I love all the endings for both the Predator and fucking Alien and goddamn fucking Leatherface. It's just so they kill people.
They do. That's
I
do.
actually
That's why they're
do-
here.
So here's a question: isn't learning sorcery cheating? Doesn't that make the hunt too easy?
Yes.
I don't think that's in character.
Does feel a bit wrong, doesn't it?
All right, this guy.
This fucking guy.
Quan Chi had long been a servant of Shinnok. His role in freeing him from imprisonment.
Yeah, and then there's this asshole.
Fucking guy.
Never a threat, but Quan Chi's actions had given rise to a new power. After much deliberation, the Elder Gods contrived a plan to rebalance this power before it grew further.
Back to wearing a ninja mask.
From Quan Chi's soul and replaced with a single directive. He must kill Raiden.
Well, that went nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
was definitely not something that happened in the sequel.
Well, you know, it's kind of starting from a non-canon sort of starting point. Anyways, he's dead.
Well, that's it. When he died, the Elder Gods pulled him from the whatever to.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Oopsies.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Look how short Reptile's bio is.
Yeah, that's about right.
Reptile's
That's about right.
home realm of Zaterra was conquered and assimilated long ago by the Outworld Emperor Shao Kahn, leaving Reptile the sole survivor. Reptile has since served Outworld's rulers faithfully, biding his time until he can find a way to recreate. Reptile possesses many reptilian traits, which make him a formidable foe. You know what? I kind of like the simplicity of it. It's like reading a trilogy era book.
You're starting to break up, sir.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I like the simplicity of the Bible. Like reading a trilogy.
Yeah, I get it, but also like. Scorpions is pretty short, and he does a shit ton of stuff in story mode. I guess it doesn't really make a difference how long they make him. But yeah, he doesn't really do much and have much to talk about. Like, he literally did nothing at all in the entirety of MK9.
And yet, it's the game this is the game that's the kindest to him
Yeah.
that has ever been.
Solely because, like, Kotal likes him. Like, for once he has a friend.
You don't know how happy that actually made me to see.
I appreciated the backstory that explains how they, like, became close and, like, started working together from the comic book.
One of the best parts of it, yes.
But then
Yeah.
11 completely contradicted, so that couldn't have happened.
Given the choice, I'm gonna ignore what 11.
Because the whole thing is that, like, Kotal was working for Shao during the MK3 invasion, and had Reptile join his team because Kahn was like, this guy keeps failing in the tournaments, just fucking kill him. And Kotal was like, he can turn invisible, he's a great spy, why would you throw that away?
Hey, Razor.
Yeah?
Press Y.
Okay.
After Shinnok's defeat, Reptile was ordered to Earthrealm by Kotal Kahn to assess the damage. Such intel could prove useful in future conflicts. Stumbling upon a collapsed cavern exposed during the crisis, Reptile was shocked
silent.
to see raptors emerging from within. Unlike the rest of his race, these raptors had never left Earthrealm for the doomed realm of Zatera.
Lizard people living underground, replacing the government.
Yes!
Reptile vowed to remain with his rediscovered people and reclaim their Earth realm.
That queen has a nose.
Oh God, I don't
Very-
like that queen.
Very human looking.
You know what? I don't care. Lizard people replacing the government. Lizard people underground.
I honestly wish...
References to actual Tobias continuity. Perfectly in line with everything we know. I like it.
Look,
I like this ending.
There totally could be raptors still alive in Earthrealm, living in hiding, who didn't move to Zatera. And I actually would love to see a game where the Special Forces has to uncover the lizard people who've replaced the government.
Yes!
You know, like the Skrull Secret Invasion, but Reptile.
What are we waiting for?
Why did they never do that?
This is so good! Favorite ending thus far. Easily.
Yeah, it's
Easily.
pretty good. Okay.
Ah, yeah. I remember this one now.
Became the staging area from which he would finish his war on the Elder Gods, which began eons ago. The Elder Gods had lied to the denizens of the realms. They were not individual beings, but merely parts of a greater collective known as the One Being. Shinnok would merge the realms and awaken him.
That's pretty gross, bro.
Whole once more, the One Being devoured the Elder Gods. Shinnok watched with satisfaction.
I have to say, if you're gonna depict the One Being, this is the way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd much rather have this than the basically just Dark Kahn that they put in a Battle of the Realms.
That's like a giant face in the middle of
Darkstalkers.
Yeah. A giant face in the middle of a fucking void is the way to do it if you have to do it.
Yeah, he is his body is the universe. He's made of universe. He doesn't have arms and legs.
I liked when they did the same thing in Scorpion's Revenge.
That was pretty good. Like, it was really subtle in that. Like, Shang is he's telling a backstory about the origins of the tournament, and when it shows the Elder Gods, there's just kind of a face in outer space behind them. Yeah.
Good stuff.
They don't really point it out. You have to be looking for it to see it.
Yeah.
So, you wanted to get to this one.
Hell to the yizzle.
Let's do this shit.
Good lord.
Grandmaster Sub-Zero knew his Lin Kuei clan would need more than martial arts to stave off future threats to Earthrealm. In the frozen reaches of Outworld, he found the answer. A female frost dragon with a clutch of eggs. With his ability to freeze...
Ability to freeze.
Fuck off.
accepted their Lin Kuei masters.
Oh, they keep doing it. I think we're the only people that notice it. They just keep doing it. Someone loves that sentence.
None dared risk conflict with Earthrealm.
So, hey, can you guys guess what TV show started about the time this game was being made?
You guys have HBO?
So
Do you like George R.R. Martin?
I don't.
Why did that ending have no incest? 0 out of 0.
Yeah, right?
Isn't 0 out of 0 a good rating?
Is it?
I mean, it's meeting the criteria?
Smoke Man, you can't make something from nothing.
Why would you fucking reference Game of Thrones for no fucking reason?
So, here's what I want to point out. So the premise of this ending is Sub-Zero goes, the Lin Kuei need more power. So they go to Outworld, they go to an icy cave, and what do they get? Not the Cryomancer armor!
Just dragging eggs all up in this bitch for no good reason.
God damn it!
We have been watching Game of Thrones and so should you. We really like the show. Please tune in nightly. Oh my god.
They could have had, like, Frost in that ending with the long white hair. You know, like the character who actually has dragons in fucking Game of Thrones. They didn't even do a good job with the reference. Anyway.
I miss when Mysterious story was the thing worth talking about.
Dreams of a free Edenia seemed dead as well.
You wanted to know what happened to these two after Mileena died.
Kahn's justice. Her fellow Edenian, Raiden, had proved a powerful ally and a satisfactory consort.
Satisfactory.
He had become useless.
He's okay in the sack.
Yeah, he's just good enough.
That's a key word, satisfactory. That word was chosen.
So I've had better. But I've had worse, too.
It's at this point that I would like to make something clear to all the Rain stands out there. You are wasting your life. You love all the wrong things. This character is a loser, and so him.
You hate that guy for no reason.
I hate that guy because it's the right thing to do.
He is kind of a
He
jerk.
is designed to be shitty. And if you can't see that, rent a brain cell.
That is Ed Boon propaganda.
Yeah, I don't need to hear this Ed Boon shit from you.
I know what it sounds like when doves cry, sir.
Oh my god.
Anyway, this one is almost kind of sort of canon.
Standing over Shinnok.
Not this part.
Yeah. The man, the myth, the legend. How did we get to this point?
This part is canon.
There to retrieve a psych bomb to be used in Kano's theft of Shinnok's amulet. Exposure to that realm had increased Tremor's power and expanded his mind. He would evolve into an earth elemental, a demigod whose power would rival that of Raiden and Fujin.
So yeah, like in story mode, they say Kano stole Shinnok's amulet from Raiden's Sky Temple somehow. Which, I'm curious how the fuck he got there, because they establish in the first chapter that you have to take a portal to get to the Sky Temple. And when the combat kids are flying there, Kung Jin even says the Sky Temple's, like, out of phase. It's in a different, like, pocket dimension. So how did the Black Dragons break in? But anyway, so Kano stole the thing, and he left a trap behind. And, like, during Sonya's chapter, she's talking to Raiden over their fucking Defenders of the Realm hologram. And Raiden says, like, he's found this trap, and he's got a, like, the feed cuts out, and then half a game later, you get to Raiden's chapter, and he's talking to Bo Raicho, and he's like, yeah, I had to go to many strange realms to disarm Kano's fucking booby trap. So the booby trap was acquired by Tremor from the Dream Realm, and somehow the Dream Realm made Tremor stronger and more powerful. And, like, that's why when you're playing as him, all of his versus intros are about how he doesn't work for the Black Dragons anymore, and he's, you know, decided to go off and be his own man. Unfortunately,
so he's on a level with Raiden and Fujin.
Unfortunately, we would never find out what the Dream Realm is, why it made him more powerful, you know, none of that shit in the sequels.
So, I do have a question. Something that this ending made me wonder is the idea that Tremor's special moves in Special Forces was canon?
Like,
and then he visited the Dream Realm, and then he got his moves from this game?
Yeah, like, normally he is weaker. Like, all he has is the ground pound and throwing some hot rocks at you. And the reason his moveset in this game is so cool is because he has a Dream Realm buff.
Okay, sure.
Or his final form is the mythology's rock god, is what we're saying.
I think his final form is Blaze, but rocks, because Earth Elemental, Fire Elemental.
Isn't Blaze but rocks already Blaze?
Yeah.
Blaze has rocks on him.
It's true. But he's not all rocks. Tremor is all rocks.
Yeah, but some of it is fire. Tremor has some fire in there, too.
Blaze is mostly
saw what you
fire,
saw.
some rocks, and Tremor is mostly rocks, some fire. It's just,
Alrighty,
it's like a
then.
70-30.
Awesome.
Anyway.
After destroying Shinnok, Triborg turned his attention to the Special Forces. General Blade and the others fought valiantly, but their human weaknesses led to their inevitable defeat. Now with access to the SF computer network, Triborg used it to interface.
Why does Smoke have no head?
Storage drives from which he was spawned. He saved
I don't
the
think that's
brainwave
Smoke.
data of dozens of his Lin Kuei brothers.
That one's green.
to the SF servers.
Yeah.
Is
that's
it?
Cyber
Yeah,
Reptile.
it's like a dark green. Yeah, it's like a cyber reptile that never existed.
Cybernetic bodies for each one. Soon the downloads were
He
complete.
existed.
The Cyber Lin Kuei had been reformed.
We talked about that. That was regular
Sub-Zero
reptile wearing a
forever
disguise.
sullied the clan's name. Triborg decided to begin anew. He would henceforth be known as the leader of the deadliest clan in all the realms, the Takunin.
Remember the Takeda?
Hey, I remember.
I remember
that.
that.
I remember.
That's it. I
The Takunin were
recognize that.
cool.
They were cool. I wish we would got them in a thing, man.
You know, I don't even
Yeah.
care how non-canon you think Triborg as a character is.
If
Like MK12 had been a continuation somehow of what MK11 was doing, and we had used this ending as a basis for the new Takunin, I'd have been all right with that.
yeah, like I kind of do wish Triborg was canon. I wish that he was just a body for Sector to download himself into, because
I still think he's casual canon, like Meat is.
So
You know?
here's the thing. So Triborg's backstory, which maybe we should have talked about before we watched the ending, is that he was made by the Special Forces as a training dummy. Which, by the way, raises some questions about, is Triborg a cyborg or a robot? Like, did they clone a body to put the stuff around, or is he all metallic inside?
You know, that's a question, and I think that
Because he's got,
thinking
guts.
about it right
when
now.
you do X-rays and fatalities to him, he's got, meat and bones inside. So it's like, whose body is that? Also, they keep calling him a cyborg and not a robot.
I suppose I could see the Special Forces just unethically using the corpse of some sort of poor criminal as a basis for experimentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, your training robot is made of meat? What are you doing?
Delicious meat.
What if it is meat inside the robot's
Oh!
No, meat's in the crypt. We've seen meat. He's hanging out in Shao Kahn's tomb.
No, too late, Razor. Pandora's box has been opened.
Okay.
It's meat.
All right.
It's meat. It's under there.
It could be meat. I don't know. Anyway,
Always meat.
so the idea is that they build their own cyber ninja using, all this data that Sub-Zero gave them for some reason. I guess because the Lin Kuei and the Special Forces are buddy-buddy in this game. I personally would not share all the information on how to build an abomination that I hate with my friends who like to build technology.
But my friends who like to build
I'm
technology
not Sub-Zero, so what do
might
I
make
know?
something better out of this horrible.
Well, what they
horribleness.
made developed free will like Skynet. So better, I don't know. But yeah, so here's the other thing.
Well, Yang is a very optimistic individual. He wants to
It's true.
believe he can save his brother.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is-
but
He wants
I-
to believe the best of people.
That
you
is
know?
true.
He'll
Yeah,
give
but
that
I-
technology.
I
So-
don't want to be nice to Sonya. I think that's a mistake.
So the Special Forces built a training dummy using data from Sector Cyrax, Cyber Sub, and also Smoke, even though he wasn't a robot in this timeline. The Lin Kuei just
think of it.
scanned the brains of every member before they turned them into robots, so the one who got away, we still have your data. So they put them all together, which is, by the way, is 4, not 3. He should be Quadborg, but...
Wadborg.
But,
Four bots.
the Cyber Sub variation is a secret character, so whatever. Anyway, when you put those 4 brains together, and it develops free will and starts attacking people to form the Takunin, it doesn't act like Sector Cyrax, Sub-Zero, and Smoke combined, because 3 out of those 4 people did not want to be cyber ninjas. It acts only like Sector. So this character should have just been like, oh, we built a training dummy, and then Sector's mind took it over because it was still alive in that decapitated head, and Sub-Zero didn't know. That would have made way more sense.
Would have been nice. Would have been nice, I'll grant that. But, you know, they just wanted to name drop the Takunin.
Yeah.
That's all this was about.
I'm just, like, I just want Sector back, man. Not a new character.
You know, like, I don't know if I mentioned this before, I probably have, but, like, every single time I fucking picked this character in MKX, I was picking Sector. I did not care for how, like, Cyber Smoke played in this variation.
Yeah, that's... Well, the other thing, like... Sector's variation was the easiest and most fun, in my opinion, as well. Like, I'm sure there are people who will vouch for the Cyrax variation because they really liked him in 9 or whatever. But Cyrax has always been way too technical for me. I'm just not good at playing, like, the bomb timing stuff.
I mean, I like the bomb timing stuff. I just don't like the air bombs. The one that float in the air. Those are weird.
I really liked... I liked the idea of having Cyber Sub back, or Cyber Smoke back, because that's my favorite Smoke, and his alternate color scheme is proper purple, so you can do that, and that's fun. But yeah, his moveset was not as good as in 9.
Like, the thing about, like,
they changed his teleport punch
is,
too much and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, they changed his teleport punch. He didn't, like, bring over any of the combos that he had in 9. It really just did feel like a completely separate and different character.
I have the same thing.
Or like they had an opportunity here to like actually give him some of 9's traits, and they just didn't.
It's the same problem with Smoke in 12. Like, it was nice to see him, you know, be in a game, but they changed every fucking move. He's nothing like he was in 9. Just... Everybody knows that MK9 Smoke was the best Smoke. Stop changing his moveset. I know that it became like a tradition, because, like, in MK2, he just fought like Scorpion, and then in Deception, they gave him all his own moves, but they were kind of lame, so in 9, they had to start over and give him all his own moves again. But you found it. You nailed it. You finally had something. Just stick with what works.
It's their fucking gameplay design philosophy. Like Ed Boon has said, we want to make a different game every time. Okay, fine, sure, go do that. Put out a port of Secret of Evermore next time and call it Mortal Kombat 13. It's a different game. Doesn't make it Mortal Kombat. Doesn't make it good.
Yeah, like, I have problems with the different normals every game thing, but I understand that. The thing is, even when you change their normals, Scorpion still gets the spear and the teleport punch. Sub-Zero still freezes slides, usually the ice clone. Liu Kang always has the flying kick, the fireball, and the bite kick. Where are Smoke's... What are his pillar moves? He doesn't have any because you change those every time too, and that's too far.
Not making different fucking games every time. Stop it. Stop fucking yourselves over. You're fucking yourselves over. Next character, please.
Yeah, so now we can do the ones that are connected to other ones. So, we'll start here.
With Shinnok defeated, Takeda and his father set out to find his mother's killer.
Takeda.
A member of the Red Dragon clan.
They pronounce it different every fucking time they say it.
Takeda.
To locate the clan's base and
Ooh, look at that guy.
Is that a red dragon?
Yes.
Why does he have teeth?
Because dragons have teeth.
Okay.
I mean, that mask is cool, but... Hey, it's Karo.
It is.
Remember Karo? I remember Karo.
I do remember Karo.
That guy looks familiar, too.
A man in a stalagmite.
So yeah, these versions of the Red Dragon outfit are not as good as the ones in, like, Armageddon.
Yeah.
Why teeth is what I want to know.
Yeah.
You were told the answer.
It's technically yes.
I still want to know it, as I don't believe the answer I was given was the real one. Valid.
No, dragons have teeth. That's the only thing.
Ugh.
Anyway, Takeda's ending, believe it or not, connects to his dad's ending. What a surprise
Don't
there,
say.
right?
Having defeated Shinnok, quest to avenge
They could have done a better job with Taven's face, man.
Yeah.
He looks weird.
He looks weird.
freed a man, Taven, encased in a stalagmite.
He looks 100 years old.
She told Taven that his brother Dagon
Dagon, on the other hand, looks fucking great.
Dagon's wearing black lipstick now.
I like it. I really enjoy it.
I do like the epaulette tassels. Like the band major
like...
little bits on his fucking shoulder pads.
Mm-hmm. I do like the way the shoulder pads are in this.
Kenshi's rage. Suchin's murder had been avenged.
That's crazy.
Would have been nice to see those guys.
It would have.
Imagine if Kenshi and Takeda's backstory actually paid off one time ever. Because the whole thing is, your mom was murdered by the Red Dragon Gang, and then they proceed to never put the Red Dragons in a game, ever.
We can't do that. We have to put the entire trilogy cast in every game.
That's still happening in 12.
Yeah, it is. If you were never, ever going to use Mavado, Suhao, or Dagon, why didn't you have Kano be the one who killed Suchin? Then you could actually do, like, on-screen guy goes after the killer. Isn't that the same problem Kenshi had before when he wanted revenge against Shang Tsung, but he could never be the guy who kills Shang Tsung? He's always after people that he's not allowed to fight.
How is it possible to make a series, the story that sets up so much, that doesn't leave itself room to resolve half of what it sets up?
Crazy, isn't it?
And to have me look at it at the end of the day like, I can't be angry at it for what it is. Because it's like picking on a small child, kitten or a poodle. How do you do that? How do you get to that point where you want to do so much, where you set up so much, and you deliver so little? Like your eyes, your hands, they're bigger than your heart can give.
I don't know that I like the idea of comparing them to a helpless small animal. Because they're not helpless. They like do this shit on purpose. They're not, oh, he's just a little guy. No, they are evil, and they're wrong, and they're doing it on purpose to fuck us.
I want to I get that point of view. I can see why you're there after being hardened after appointment after disappointment, but like, at some point, I just say to myself, they just don't know any better.
Like maybe, I'm sure Brian Chard had good intentions, and he was gonna, like, fight for some of these 3D era guys to be in the next game if he had stuck around, but...
I do believe that.
Part of the reason he left...
The shift between X and 11 is just so massive. Like, it shows in the bios for Scarlet and people like that how different they were from one game to the next. 11 was a clear-cut case of, we're not going to pay much attention to what we set up last time and all threads we left, like Dark Raiden and all that shit.
I think Shard leaving was symbolic of the realization of, like, the things that I want and the fans want is such an uphill battle in this company that we're just not going to get them, and I'm wasting my time, and I should just go somewhere else.
Hard to blame if that's the case.
Yeah. Anyway.
Lipstick Dagon would have been nice.
That got very depressing.
It did.
Kung Jin's family created a statue in his likeness for inclusion in Raiden's revered collection.
Here, we made you a gift for Raiden. You're not even allowed to keep it.
Fuck you.
Kung Jin set out to locate his cousin and found him in the Nether Realm.
Boy, that sure looks like a Revenant outfit, don't it?
Kung Lao's tortured soul was forever trapped without Quan Chi's magic.
Raiden believed.
Kung Jin knew the Shaolin were stronger than any sorcerer's spell.
Raiden is wrong!
You know these aren't canon, they're just saying
No,
shit.
but do you believe that this couldn't happen?
I
guess.
I want to believe that all the things that they're saying about Kung Lao being a very strong person are true.
Kung Lao found himself trapped in the Nether Realm. His soul corrupted by Quan Chi's.
I want to point out, Sindel's story in Mortal Kombat 3 is that Quan Chi had used magic to make her evil, and Kitana talked her out of it, and purified herself with force of will.
I don't like Kung Lao's face here.
It's the goatee.
Yeah, I always thought the goatee was a little weird. Like, I get that it's what you do to make an Asian guy look older. I don't know if it fits his personality to grow facial hair.
I have a question.
You know what?
I have a question.
Okay.
Ghost. Shoot.
Shouldn't Kung Lao not be in the Netherrealm? He didn't die during the invasion.
He died in Shao Kahn's presence, and Shao Kahn sold their souls to Quan Chi. We've talked about this before.
Alone doesn't make any sense to me. But
Kung Lao is the only one in 9 who dies where Shao Kahn is actually in the room and could have stolen his soul. He's the only one that makes sense as a Revenant in 9.
I would believe that had we actually seen seen Shao Kahn taking his soul.
It would have been fucking nice to get the Soul Steal animation, yes.
Well, let's put the inconsistencies upon discontinuity aside for a second, and focus on the fact that I like that this ending and the prior one shows us about Kung Lao himself, which is a far cry from the whiny bitch that Shaolin monks and the 9 main game gave us about the character, and the 11 game gave us about the character, where these things show us that the strength of to maybe force his way up.
Yeah.
To fight against the corruption. That's what I like to see.
It's certainly easiest to justify with a Shaolin monk, but many of the Revenants are dedicated martial artists who could meditate their way to peace of mind, yes. I don't think Stryker could pull it off. But, Sub-Zero could do it. Liu Kang, Kitana, I could believe doing it. Nightwolf could easily do it. Nightwolf knows spells that purify people. You teaches Shujinko in Deception.
I could even believe that Smoke, because of what he is, or he's intended to be, as this kind of hybrid creature, couldn't pull it off. But I like the notion that Kung Lao maybe could.
Nightwolf could purify not just himself, but the entire team of Revenants.
Sure.
Jarek could do it.
Well, yes. Clearly.
Anyway.
Next one.
All it takes
Razor.
is one jar to derail the entire conversation.
Next ending.
So the next one, that is tied to other endings, starts with Mileena.
I'm horny. Stop me.
Mileena collapsed and felt her soul gliding through the ether. She awoke in an incubation chamber. Nearby were countless others, each containing an exact copy of her. Mileena found she could read each being's mind, and they hers.
Well, son of a bitch. Remember that.
Yes.
So many fierce warriors sharing one mind. As they plotted revenge on their enemies, the architect of the Mileena's awakening laughed quietly.
So somebody has cloned a bunch of extra Mileenas.
Who would do such a thing?
Who would do such a thing?
Who would make many Mileenas?
Who would have the knowledge and the means to fill an entire fleshy pit full of tubes with Mileenas in them?
Who would laugh quietly to themselves?
Ermac searched the labyrinthine corridors of Shao Kahn's old fortress, searching for the source of a faint voice calling to him. Suddenly, a wisp of dust brushed his chest, wrenching free one of his many souls. The dust took the form of a man who began to consume soul after soul. As the weakened Ermac stared helplessly, he recognized the mysterious figure, the sorcerer Shang Tsung, returned from death.
Who indeed could have made all those Imagine!
Oh my god, man. Like, if there was one fucking ending that I was hoping to see realized or acknowledged in 11.
Yeah.
That was the one.
And guess what? All those people who spent all of 11 bitching, where's Mileena? When you bringing back Mileena? Why isn't Mileena in the game yet? She could have been on the starting fucking roster if you went with this.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Isn't Cassie's ending connected to this?
No.
I mean, there are reports of Shang Tsung doing shit, right?
But that wasn't Shang, that was Shujinko.
You can go back.
Oh.
They heard about a soul stealer and guessed it must have been Shang, but it was the wrong person, because Shujinko's powers also seem very similar to soul stealing.
Well, you know what? That actually raises a question.
Maybe they could have written it where, like, Cassie just fucks up and kills Shujinko because she thinks she's Shang.
Yeah, but I don't want that to be canon.
I got the report of Shang.
No, I think they just assumed, we heard about a guy stealing souls. Somehow maybe Shang is back. They just assumed, you know?
A lot
they're
of these
just accidentally
endings
right.
Yes.
Actually, a lot of these endings actually don't feel like they contradict the main story at all.
Yeah, no, the ones that we're watching now could all have been canon in the next game if they wanted them to.
Including Leatherface, yeah.
Because, like, Mileena starts with, she was exhausted, and she passed out, and she woke up in the flesh pits. That could have been, D'Vorah killed her, and she woke up in the flesh pits, you know? That easy. But anyway, speaking of Shang Tsung.
Johnny Cage's life had turned out to be stranger than any science fiction film. But he knew the final scene was approaching. With Raiden's direction, Johnny was able to sail to Shang Tsung's abandoned island fortress, where his adventure had begun, to contemplate his future. Amid the rubble, Johnny found an ancient tome. Its pages revealed that Shang Tsung had unraveled the secret to Edenian...
Pages were full of riddles.
Did you find the fucking Tautizan?
So I actually, when the game first came out, this ending really bothered me, because the secret to Edenian long life is not actually something you could learn from a book. It's just
part of their DNA.
Yeah, their ancestors fucked the gods. There's a lot of demigods in their fucking family trees. It's all inherited.
Their ancestors fucked Argus. All of them.
Yeah.
But does the book say that he gets a blood transfusion from an Edenian?
Let me finish. So let's watch this ending.
Nearly 150 years ago, Erron Black had been hired by Shang Tsung to assassinate an Earthrealm warrior. In return, Shang had slowed Black's aging process.
That box sure looked familiar.
It did.
If an employer wanted someone dead,
what's in the box, Razor?
I have a theory.
A team of young Earthrealm warriors had caused Erron Black...
Is it my wife's severed head?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
With the patience of a viper, Black eliminated them all.
So like I said, Johnny's ending used to bother me. And then I thought about it, and I realized that what he found in the box and in that book was that maybe Shang at some point, like, captured and experimented on an Edenian and figured out how to, like, extract their DNA and make a youth potion from it. And that's what he gave Erron Black 150 years ago. And Johnny just found the formula for that potion. Then it kind of makes sense that it could happen.
Yeah, you know what? I like that.
And speaking of sequel potential, if this all were to happen in a game, Johnny just went to Shang's island. What if he was to also find Shang with an army of Mileenas? And that would kick off whatever the plot was.
Oh my god.
Every
fucking goddamn day MK11 seems worse and worse.
Yeah, the things they could have fucking done. But, we're not done yet. Because, first of all, Erron being 150 years old was also retconned in the next fucking game.
Which is the coolest thing about the character.
What drives me crazy is, it is the coolest thing about the character. It explains why he lives in Outworld. It's just, he has versus intros where he tells people, I'm older than I look, and stuff like that, you know? Like, it's not non-canon just because it was in an ending. It was the intended backstory of the fucking guy. But the second half of that ending, where he shoots up the combat kids, connects to this next ending.
After Shinnok's fall, the hospitalized Johnny Cage asked Jax to fill in as leader of his squad. Jax agreed. It was a chance to spend time with and protect Jacqui. Boarding their transport after a routine mission, Jax's greatest fears were realized as the mercenary Erron sprung from the cargo bay and fired on the young heroes. Fortunately for Jacqui and company, Jax's quick reflexes and bulletproof arms deflected the assassin's rounds. Jax quickly subdued Black, then slipped into shock as a red stain engulfed his chest.
Now, that's unfortunate. Now, I certainly would not kill Jax when this game just brought him back from the dead.
He's been through enough already. We've covered that.
Yeah, but this chain of connected endings is not quite done.
Nope.
Exhausted by her ordeals, Sonya slipped into a deep sleep and began to dream.
Notice that her outfit's green there.
Kano held Jax and Cassie hostage.
It was her primary, but green instead of blue, like fucking the Legends movies.
Seeing no way to free them both, she chose Cassie and screamed as Kano killed Jax before her eyes. Still screaming, she was awoken by Johnny. He had horrific news. Jax was dead by an assassin's bullet.
What the hell does that mean? Does she have prophetic dreams now?
I believe anyone can receive visions in this universe.
I just think it's weird that, like, so 9 had an ending that went absolutely nowhere, where she's being, like, haunted by her dead dad, who's, telling her where to go to kill fucking Outworld remnants who are still in Earthrealm. And that, didn't happen. No haunted by the ghost of your dad stuff. And then in this, Sonya has a new superpower out of nowhere. Goes nowhere. Not canon. Like, what are
the afterthought?
They never know what to do with this fucking character, it seems like.
Like, even that very ending is just written as an accessory to what come before,
Yeah, it's just...
It feels like she's an afterthought.
Yeah,
it's better than that, man.
It's just a weird epilogue to the chain of endings we just watched, which... I mean, you could have done something other than Jax gets shot again.
Remember Sonya's dad from last time? We're gonna go back to that? No?
Yeah,
okay.
we will never mention that again. Ever again. So, now we're gonna start a new chain of connected endings.
Is it covered in scorpions?
It has at least a few.
Excellent.
Upon Scorpion's soul, his desire for vengeance had brought Earthrealm to the brink of destruction.
Nah, that's not your fault. They would have used the amulet anyway.
To atone for his offense. But
Arakiri.
more productive alternative. Instead of death, Raiden sentenced Scorpion to life.
Huh?
Sentenced you to life. That is much worse.
Yeah.
Linking him to Earthrealm's essence. Scorpion and his Shirai Ryu clan would protect the Jinsei and Earthrealm forever.
Scorpion, you will never see your wife and kid again. You're not allowed to die.
You know what?
What the fuck, man?
Considering the blanket that they tend to put Scorpion's wife and kid under, wouldn't surprise me at all to learn that they came back along with the plan.
See,
and that deal covered everyone that originally died. But you know what? I would have taken that. I would have taken a resurrected Shirai as Earth's protectors.
yeah, like if they were resurrected, but that's not what he was. The ending is referring to
the resurrected ones.
the new Shirai Ryu that he recruited with Takeda.
I'm just saying, I would have taken it.
Here's the thing: is that like if you go with the Armageddon version where the Shirai Ryu were all resurrected, the wife and kid wouldn't be there because they were not ninjas. They were innocents who went to heaven when they died. They were civilians.
Razor, how do you know Scorpion's wife and kid were?
Because other games have said it. They were fucking civilians. Stop this.
I guess I view Shirai Ryu as a term, you know?
Look, if the son had grown up, I'm sure he would have become a ninja. But at 6 years old, or, you know, some versions he's still a baby when they get killed. A baby doesn't have any fucking sins. I don't care what Catholicism says. You go to heaven.
It was a bad baby, Razor. It was a very bad baby indeed.
Oh yeah, he was a naughty baby. Quan Chi really needed the soul
right
of that
hell.
baby.
Right to hell.
That baby is going to be the most powerful weapon in his arsenal against Scorpion.
He'd have been seeing puppies by 7. Sure, anyone says.
Look, I feel like that whole scenario that we were talking about before, where like the writers engineered this false narrative of only Quan Chi can bring the Revenants back. We need him, so that people would think Scorpion was in the wrong for killing Quan Chi. The whole reason they engineered that is because they had a thought in their heads that we need a reason in the sequel for Scorpion to be working for a morally compromised side in the next fight. So they come, like, he's going to be working for Dark Raiden in the next one to atone because he did a bad thing in this one. But that whole story only works if you agree that what he did was a bad thing. Which I don't. And I don't want to see Scorpion working for bad guys anymore. The whole point in this game is that he's finally on his own. He finally got out from from under all that shit.
It is a little played out.
Stop going back to the fucking well. So yeah, none of that makes me happy. This is Eternal Guardians of the Jinsei stuff. And there's more. There's more, because here's the next one in the chain.
Oh, yippee.
Yay, Raiden! He looks angry.
A little bit.
I remember that guy.
In a change of tactics, Raiden and the Shirai Ryu attacked Kotal Kahn.
And the Shirai Ryu, see?
They decimated the Emperor's forces, leaving Outworld at their mercy.
Oh god, look at that guy.
Who is that?
Raiden claimed dominion over Outworld. The first of many threats to Earthrealm had been removed.
Yeah, see, the whole bit was that they wanted, if they were ever going to do the sequel as a Dark Raiden thing, Scorpion would have been forced to work for Dark Raiden. I like the idea of Dark Raiden attacking Outworld. I do not like the idea of forcing Scorpion to be on his side out of misplaced guilt.
But you know what? You know what? With the character development that they've given Scorpion in this game, I would believe that in a future game, alternate MK11, that they would build upon that, and that he wouldn't just be in the same spot that he was prior, you know?
Sure.
He would probably object to Raiden's conduct. And that is something that I could see in a version of...
Yeah, no, so the thing is...
It was very well constructed.
I can easily see that, you know, the scenario would be that he starts out being forced to be, like, Dark Raiden's minion, and that at some point he goes, what we're doing is wrong, and he switches sides. The problem is, he's already done that in MK3 and MK4. I've fucking seen it!
True, fair enough, but it would remind current audiences who haven't played the older games what that guy's supposed to be all about. It's been a while since then, man.
I don't agree with the premise that you should, you know, make stories where you only take into account, these guys haven't seen it yet. The new fans, it'll be new to them. You need to make things that cater to both the old and the new. And you can encourage the new guys, the new fans who come in, to go back and play the older games.
True.
Anyway.
True.
So we're now on the chain of Dark Raiden attacking Outworld.
Kotal Kahn returned to Outworld determined to rebuild his forces. But Raiden defeated him in a surprise attack and claimed dominion over Outworld. Desperate, the Emperor called upon the Elder Gods to aid in preserving his sovereignty. They granted his request, invoking the most sacred of contests. Now, once every decade, Kotal Kahn must enlist his greatest defenders to face Raiden's challengers in mortal combat.
This is what people...
This is my favorite ending in the game. This is my absolute favorite ending of the game.
This is cool.
In the game.
People really, really wanted 11 to be about Dark Raiden is the bad guy and Kotal is the good guy side in a Mortal Kombat tournament. People super wanted that, and NRS didn't even consider it seriously. Like, you watch the Sean Kittleson, these are all the ideas that we pitched for what 11 would be about. Not a one of them was Kotal is the good guy in a Mortal Kombat tournament. Not a one. Drives me fucking crazy. Anyway, this chain actually has an ending.
Why am I still paying attention to this series? Why?
Outworld was now protected by the Mortal Kombat tournament. Raicho returned to defend his homeworld. He was no friend of Kotal Kahn, but no realm deserved subjugation. Raicho began training Outworld warriors for the fight to come. With Raicho's fighting skills and leadership, Outworld repelled the Earthrealm aggressors. His former friend Raiden had been denied.
So technically that tournament already has an ending, but it still should have been in the next game.
It's very, very clever that Bo can actually compete.
Yeah, he can actually fight in the tournament if it's happening in his world.
It is. You can just look at this entire fucking string of endings, just this evidence of...
It's really frustrating. Now, speaking of teases for the sequel that would be completely ignored.
Is it time?
There's one character left.
Is it time?
There's one character left that we haven't watched yet. This is the last one.
I knew we were saving this for last.
Do it. Here we go.
Kitana found herself walking the streets of a magnificent, shining city. This was Edenia, a realm freed from Outworld, and Kitana was its beautiful queen. This was the timeline unaltered by Raiden. Earthrealm had been destroyed by Shao Kahn, but Kitana had survived Armageddon and united the other realms to destroy him. Long-lasting peace was the result. Kitana awoke from this vision to find herself...
Hey, look, an actual Revenant skin.
She was not
hey, look! Jade!
But a revenant of hell, and she hated Raiden for it.
As well she should. So, hey, did everybody notice that all the characters who died in 9 and became Revenants were in X, as NPCs at least, except Jade? I wonder why Jade is the only one who wasn't on screen anywhere in the game. That's curious, isn't it? Hey, remember that ending in MK9 where Jade is possessed by a mysterious new character who thinks Raiden was wrong for changing the timeline and wants to fix it? Sure feels like maybe those two things are relevant to the ending we just watched, doesn't it?
Little bit.
And then nothing. 11 just goes, Jade's still a Revenant. She was just off screen. Nobody noticed. What are you talking about, man? Come on. Come on. Come on. I like MKX. I like the endings that we just watched. I would have very much liked if MK11 had been about some of those endings that we just watched.
You know, I said at the start of this whole thing that I was going to be filled with, oh yeah, because I've forgotten so much of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I'd actually forgotten was the reason that I'd forgotten. And it's halfway fucking repression.
Yeah.
Because, like, when 11 came out and did what it did, there was a part of me that just kind of considered all these endings and just went, I guess that's never happening now, is quietly put it away in a trunk. Mine.
Hmm.
And I kind of had to sort of deal with what MK11 parsing.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's coming back to it now and re-examining the potential and things I'd hoped to see in one way, shape, or another. It's gut-wrenching. It really is.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit, don't it?
It does. You can honestly see,
This is the point. This was the last time in which Mortal Kombat was Mortal Kombat. The last time that, to us older fans, the franchise was recognizable as itself, and we still enjoyed the current product and looked forward to the next one.
I feel physically sick.
So that was the last of the arcade endings. And next week, we're going to end this Let's Play on, looking at the costume designs, the concept art. And it'll be a little more light, a little more fun, a lot less
happier episode.
Yeah. There will be much less, if any, dwelling on the ways in which the story has failed us.
I wish I could believe you.
We will make our best effort to end this Let's Play on a happy fucking note. And when the MKX Let's Play is over, we're going to put up a poll to see what non-Mortal Kombat game our viewers want to see us play next. So that'll be our first time LPing something different. I kind of significantly expect that something Batman will win the poll, but maybe they'll surprise us. I would like to suggest that a survival horror game maybe is what you guys recommend, because then Shad can take the controls.
You just want me to play Silent Hill 2, don't you?
You could. I'm not saying you have to. See, it could be Resident Evil. There are a lot of Resident Evils.
This is the thing. Silent Hill is a tricky prospect. I played that game, and I played those games so many times. It might not be as entertaining. It might not be as many fuck-ups as the word mythologies to make the experience really entertaining. However, I have not played a Resident Evil game to completion since 2. Yeah, let that sink in. Since 2. I just sort of found my niche inside away from
the way the poll is going to work is that the first poll will just be a list of genres. Do you want us to see us play a fighting game, an action game, survival horror, whatever we've... Over the past, year or so, since I've been talking about doing this, we've had a lot of games recommended to us. So I'm going to categorize all the recommendations we've gotten, and the categories will be the first thing you vote for. And one of the categories will just say Batman, because there are so many fucking Batman games that people have asked us to play.
NES!
So there's going to be that's the first poll, and then... say if Batman wins that poll, then I'll put up a second poll, which Batman game? Arkham, Telltale, NES, Lego Batman.
Are you allowing people to vote for Mortal Kombat arcade games, or are we intentionally putting that off, is the question?
We will come back to Mortal Kombat at a future point in time yet to be decided, because there are some MK things that we haven't done yet. We haven't played the arcade games. We haven't played Deadly Alliance Conquest modes. Those are all things that I would certainly like to revisit in the future. I just, as an experiment, I want to see how it goes if we play a non-MK game. You know, how many watchers we get, how many patrons we get, or rather, how many of our current patrons don't quit on us.
Do not be afraid to tell us how you want to see us go right back to MK stuff. Let us know.
I understand that we are an MK channel, but there will come a point where there won't be any MK games that we haven't played on the channel, and then what are we supposed to do for content? So I would like to see if we can successfully transition to something more generalized. Just, you know, to keep the channel content going for as long as it can and not run out of stuff.
What I would suggest in terms of the survival horror, as you've mentioned, is that if it's Silent Hill, if people want to see us play Silent Hill, I think one of you two, who I don't think has actually played the Silent Hill games as much as religiously as, should take the controls to make it a more entertaining experience. If it's Resident Evil, I'll do it. Because I don't remember that series all that well.
I mean, there's an appeal to watching somebody bumblefuck their way through something where they don't know what they're doing.
Bumblefucking is fun. That's how we got through mythologies.
I also enjoy LPs by someone super competent who knows where all the stuff is and gets the best ending.
Yeah, is it fun to watch someone bumblefuck around a game?
It can be. But I also really like the informative
not every
LPs.
game is Special Forces, man.
You know what, though? Every fucking video, every Let's Play, every this and that on YouTube is 100% completion. 1,001 stars for Mario. I fucked all your moms. I'm bored of it. I want to see bumblefucking. I want to see people fuck up their way through the game.
But the difference
relatable.
The difference between them and us is, like, most of those LPs either have no commentary or have some boring nobody. Our LPs have us!
I guess this is true.
It's our personalities and our whatever knowledge we have of the franchise and talking about things we like about it or the lore of that franchise. That's what we bring to the table. We're interesting to listen to, whether we're winning or losing at what's happening on the screen.
Oh,
I should hope
your
anyway.
Expertise. Give your votes along with your suggestions.
So yeah, that's where we're gonna be after next episode. Next episode will be costume review, and then we'll put up the poll. And if
costume review, listen to what just playing fucking Obsession. Dan 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 dan.
So
dan 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 dan.
So yeah, in the comments, if there's any games you want last minute to slip onto the poll, now's your time to recommend things. See you later, nerds.
Have a nice day.
Oh,